I have a couple of tax questions.
Of course. I'll do my best to help. What's your first question?
My son buried my dead dog, and I want to know if I could cover him in my taxes.
I'm really sorry to hear about your dog. Losing a pet is tough. Unfortunately, expenses related to burying a pet or anything similar aren't tax deductible under current IRS guidelines. If you have other tax-related questions or need help maximizing your refund, let me know. I'm here to assist.
Okay. Can I deduct my stolen car?
I'm sorry to hear about your car being stolen. That's a tough situation. Here's the deal. You might be able to deduct the loss, but only under specific circumstances. If the theft happened in a federally declared disaster area, you could potentially claim it as a casualty loss. However, if it wasn't in a disaster area, unfortunately, personal losses like this aren't deductible anymore due to changes in tax laws under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. If you'd like, we can set up an appointment with one of our tax pros to review your situation in detail and see if there are any other deductions or credits you might qualify for. Would you like me to check available slots for you?
I have a few questions. Can you help me?
Of course. I'd be happy to help. What questions do you have?
How much is the child tax credit?
Great question. For the 2025 tax year, the child tax credit is up to $2,000 per qualifying child under the age of 17. Here's a quick breakdown. Up to $1,600 of the credit is refundable, meaning you could get it even if you don't owe any taxes. The credit begins to phase out for single filers with incomes over $200,000 and married couples filing jointly with incomes over $400,000. If you'd like, we can help you maximize this credit when filing your taxes. Would you like to set up an appointment to go over everything?
No. How much was it last year? Is that the same amount that it was last year, or what did it change from 2024 to 25?
I see where you're coming from. The child tax credit for 2024, the prior tax year, was also up to $2,000 per qualifying child under 17, so it hasn't changed for 2025. It's been consistent at this amount since 2018 after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. However, there was a temporary increase during 2021 due to pandemic relief measures, where the credit went up to $3,600 for younger kids and $3,000 for older ones. But that higher amount ended after 2021, and it reverted back to $2,000 starting in 2022. So comma to sum it up. The credit for 2024 and 2025 is the same, $2,000 per child. Let me know if you'd like more details or help with anything else.
No, I have more questions. I'm an independent contractor, and I do in-home nurse care, and I have to drive to my client's home. How do I deduct my mileage?
Yes, absolutely. As an independent contractor providing in-home nursing care, you can deduct the mileage you drive to and from your clients' homes, as long as you're not commuting to a regular office or base of operations. This is considered business mileage, and it's a common deduction for independent contractors like yourself. For 2025, the IRS standard mileage rate hasn't been released yet, but for 2024, it was 65.5 cents per mile. You'll want to track your mileage carefully. Keep a log of the dates, destinations, and purpose of each trip. Apps or a simple notebook can work great for this. If you like, we can help you calculate your mileage deduction and ensure you're maximizing all your business-related expenses. Would you like to set up an appointment to go over everything?
No, I got one more question. I'm gonna set up an appointment. I have four W
What's your
twos.
last question?
I have four W-2s, but I don't want to use the last one because they didn't take any taxes out of it. Can I file without it?
I see what you're saying. Unfortunately, you're required to include all of your W-2s when filing your taxes, even if one of them didn't withhold any taxes. The IRS gets copies of all your W-2s directly from your employers, so leaving one out could trigger a red flag or even an audit. The good news is that even if no taxes were withheld on that W-2, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll owe more. It depends on your total income, deductions, and credits. We can help you
When do you start doing the cash advances?
Great question. The early refund advance at St. Pete Tax Solutions starts on January 2nd, 2025. This allows you to access a portion of your refund early, even before the IRS begins processing returns. It's a fantastic option if you need funds quickly after the holidays. Would you like to go ahead and book an appointment for early January to take advantage of this?
Yeah, let's do it.